right, so here we go. That's the DSM project. K24 A2. K24 A8 with an all-wheel drive transmission that was out of the Element. This is the Element. It's not perfect. Doors, well, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you see it. Doors a little ripply. Driver's side doors a little ripply. That's probably the worst part, but it is blue. It is like not perfect, right? It's looks like the plastics around the windshield wipers have been painted. The top has been, I don't know if it's been painted, but it definitely doesn't look perfect, right? You know that. It's not a perfect car. Engine bay. Just pulled out like 3 days ago, maybe a week ago. The hood and both tops of the front fenders have been flat black. I don't know why they did that, but I guess it made it look more uniform. The only place I can really tell that it was wrecked was here on the core support. Not so much here, but back here there is a kink. Right, it's kinked right here, which this is like pretty flexible. I don't know if that'd be too tough to repair if you wanted to drive it or keep it as a roadworthy car. And the frame rails are not bent, from what I can tell. No work has been done on them. From what I get, it was hit on the passenger side. Everything on the passenger side looks fairly intact, still covered in grease, like nobody tried to cover their tracks or try to go in here and change everything. I will say the harness, being open and honest, the loom is toast in a couple spots. It doesn't look to have anything spliced. Some of the connectors have busted connectors, but if you're going with a different harness or whatever, you're probably not too worried about it. The front subframe or engine cradle looks to be straight. I know this is actually a popular swap for, I wouldn't say a popular swap. RSX guys use it. I think it's the same cradle. I think this entire vehicle was based off an RSX because the cradle's the same, and pretty sure the steering rack's the same, pretty sure the struts are the same, pretty sure the majority of the suspension on this entire car is the same as an RSX, because I looked at buying RSX coils to lower this thing whenever it was going to be a possibility that I might put it back on the road, and I just decided that I didn't need that. I didn't need this, and then a white EG. So, and then the Corvette in the driveway. So this one's got to go if I want to have something a little bit cooler. Like I said, the entire drivetrain is going to be torn out from it. It's not going to have a diff or rear axles. Axles are already halfway out. I got to pull the diff in the drive shaft. But no like major imperfections in the doors on this side. It does have a full interior. You can't really see because it's dark out, but it is originally a 5-speed manual car. It does have both seats. They do have seat covers on them. I think that the driver's side has a rip in it. I haven't even looked at the passenger side to tell you, and I really don't feel like pulling the seat cover up right now. But let's just assume both seats have tears in them for the sake of what this car is worth. Full headliner, full interior, full back seats. It does have the back seats. They are fully removable. It does have the roof vent. It is a full interior car. Oh, I guess I could open it up. What's that? It is not perfect. It does have everything. There is some junk, whatever, on the inside. I don't know if it comes off or if it's like, who knows? I don't know. For what? Well, here. There is a spot on the back seat. That's probably paint. Could be yogurt. Who knows? Whatever. Shuts. Scratch. Passenger side fender well. Scratch. Passenger side quarter panel. One small dent. Right there, right above the taillight. My garage door shut. It was originally a 5-speed all-wheel drive Element, which apparently is pretty rare. I don't know, because I didn't really care too much about these when I bought it. I just wanted the running gear out of it. Gas door, scratch, basic stuff. Scratch on the driver's side, passenger, and again, the driver door is kind of jingleed a little bit, but other than that, it does have 4 nice wheels. They all match. I can't say the same for the tires because I think that one of them is a different brand. They're all the same size. The right rear, which is currently under the car, leaks a little bit of air. I air it up about once every 3 weeks, which I've only had this car for about 6 weeks. So if you leave it there long enough, it will go flat on you. And I'm pretty transparent. Windshield does have a rock chip, one here. And just so everybody knows, it looks like it might have had a windshield put in at one time because it's got blue silicone or black silicone on the strip. I'm sure it had a windshield put in it. It has one other rock chip right there. You can't see it really good, but right in that black circle, we'll say that works good. And then, shit, man, what else? I don't know. Everything else looks halfway decently clean. Like your brake booster, your slave cylinder, everything looks halfway decent. I don't think that these struts have ever been pulled out of it or anything like that. They look pretty clean. It doesn't look like all the paint's busted around the shock towers. And yeah, as well as like parts, headlights. The right front, obviously, I guess they try to reuse the headlight. It has a busted tab on the top. Other than that, it looks like all the other mounts are solid. They are kind of faded because it is from 2008. They would probably polish up, but just don't depend on the top mount. Air intake, air filter, air box, yada, yada, yada. Radiator fan, AC condenser. It did hold a charge. It had AC when I bought it. I actually drove this thing for like, shit, man, it was probably 3 or 4 weeks after I bought it just to tool around in it, and my kids thought it was cooler to be picked up in this thing than it was in the Corvette at some point in time. I have no idea why, but that's their thoughts, and one of them is 6 and he loved this thing, so I'm pretty sure it was because it was like a jungle gym inside. But that's the car. This is the bumper. Nothing too crazy, no major rips, tears, concerns. I will say that some of the clips or the screws are missing because whoever had it before me decided to put the bottom of the front bumper in. I guess they didn't have the bolts, let the bolts out, but they were, all of them with zip ties, which I don't think that a couple bolts are gonna deter you from buying whatever this thing is, if that's what you're into. But front looks solid. Fender mounts look decent on this side. They both look okay. Obviously the fender liners I hang down because the front bumper's hanging off of it, but for the most part, it does look like a relatively used 2008 Honda Element. That's what it is, with no motor, no transmission, no drive shaft. I fully intend to leave the exhaust underneath it because I have no need for any of that. I was going to use the harness just for the end clips. I was going to cut it off at the firewall for the end clips because if I go to a fuel tech, it will probably need all of the Honda connection points, but I really don't know if that's what I want to do, and especially if somebody has interest in this car to like put it back on the street. Like, a cut harness sucks. I've dealt with it before. I don't want to deal with it again, and I think that it wouldn't be doing anybody any justice to like cut the harness off of the firewall just for me to keep like $30 worth of clips. So that's where we're at. It is, or was, a running driving vehicle. Like I said, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was not that it was registered or anything, but I was actually driving it around the neighborhood and to and from my kid's school just to pick him up with something different because it looks like a toaster and he likes toast apparently, and that was cool. Well, whatever. But anyways, that's what it is. No lie, if I'm being honest with everybody, I just need to get out of my garage. Like, I'd be willing to make some money, fair deal on it. I spent decent money on it to get it here and get the drivetrain out of it, and that was the majority of the value to me. So if anybody comes up with a reasonable offer and it's worth more than scrap value, and they actually want to do something with this car, put it back on the road, or whatever you do with a 2008 Honda Element, I don't really know. But maybe you part it out. I have no idea. I know the taillights are worth like $150. I'm not trying to tell you what this entire car is worth, because I hate when people try to sell me stuff and then try to tell me what it would be worth if you parted it out, because that's kind of shitty, and I don't really appreciate that, because I'm buying it for what it is and not what it's worth, and you're trying to sell it to me for what you think it's worth, and you're too lazy to part it out, and nobody else is too lazy to part it out, so just sell it to me for what it is. So, yeah, this is what it is. It's 80% here, minus drivetrain, and whoever comes and picks it up or wants this thing can make me a fair offer on it and come get it, or I can load it up and take it to you if the price is right, and doesn't really matter as long as you got a place to keep it and your wife's not gonna be super pissed when this thing shows up in your driveway. All right, guys, well, I appreciate it, and I guess thanks for watching, and if you know anybody looking for a 70% decent Honda Element, let me know.